Hey everybody, it's Abby. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. I'm sure you can see by the title you're like, what are you doing? But today I'm going to be talking about how as of today that you're seeing this is my last day at my job. So I made a video a while back talking about how I left my corporate job and to work in part-time retail. That part-time retail turned into full-time. And I've also, ever since then been trying to build up my own small business. So I've talked about that a couple times on here. Like I mentioned my products in my eco-friendly swaps video, so I'll link that below if I remember. But I make and sell reusable cloth stuff. So makeup remover pads, I call them reusable cotton rounds, and I also have cloth wipes, and now I am making I call them cotton towels, but they are basically just reusable paper towel size cloth that you can wash and reuse. And then I have zero waste scrunchies where I don't make any waste from making a scrunchie. I use every bit of the fabric pretty much. And I make other stuff like drawstring bags and Christmas gift wrap options and that kind of stuff. It's all as zero to as least waste as possible. So that's what I've been focusing on for the past couple years. I've been doing this for about 2 years, I think, but it's kind of been really slow going, and especially working in retail, and especially the company that I worked for, but we did not have set schedules, so it wasn't like I was 9 to 5 every day, or I was 10 to 6 every day, whatever. It was one day would be 9 to 4, the next day would be 1 to 8, and then the next day would be 8 to 4. It was just, basically they made it so, I don't know, unintentionally or intentionally, where you could not do anything outside of work because you couldn't establish a routine, and it was really frustrating, especially trying to make plans with people, or trying to plan vacations, or even just going out to eat with somebody. You're I don't know when I work, let me look at the schedule. It's not oh yeah, I'm free after 5 every day. It was just a random. Which the good side was that we did not work Sundays because it was a Christian company. And we usually hardly ever worked past 9 p.m., which was nice, but it was nice for retail anyways, because most retail places close at 10 or 11. But yeah, that was not helping me to be able to grow my business and establish a routine for myself, because if I worked 9 to 4 one day, I would stay up until 11 or 12 o'clock and then have to get work the next day, just trying to work on stuff. So it was just not working out. And I have also set up some craft shows, so I actually met a lady through working there, which was very nice. And I worked in the fabric department. I use fabric all the time myself, and I was talking to her about she kind of asked me if I sewed one day or something, and I said yeah, and I told her what I made and stuff, and she said she was setting up a craft show, she was curating it. So, and then she was like, I can offer you she looked at my stuff first, and she was like, well, I can offer you a spot in my show. And I was like, well, yeah, of course. So I did that one show, and then she has her show has grown a lot. So I have at least one every month set up for this coming May through October. I think there's 2 in May, and then one at least every month through October. And so I'm kind of working towards that. I was going to wait until about May to quit my job, but I just finally woke up one day and I was like, you know what, I'm just done. I have enough money. I did the math real quick with how much I'm going to get paid within the next, because I'll get paid this week, and then I think for half of a paycheck the next week or something, just with how it worked out. And that would be enough for me to do bare bones, existing pretty much on until at least June or so. And then anything I make on top of that would be a bonus. So, and also another thing is that I am still living at home, so my bills are fairly small, and if you're working full-time and paying your mortgage and rent and stuff, that would be almost impossible without a massive chunk of savings beforehand, because that was my plan. If you've been following my videos about my debt and savings, I'm looking at my paper over there, but I was going to save up $5,000 for 3 months expenses. Well, $5,000 is way too much for me for 3 months of expenses. So the only thing that I have is I have the rest of my student loan, which is very, very small amount. I mean, I'm so paid ahead on it that I wouldn't even, if I didn't, what am I trying to say? That if I wasn't able to make payments for several months, I wouldn't have to, because I'm so paid ahead. I did that when I made the transition from my old job to the last job that I had. So if I had to, worst case scenario, I would do that. I would just kind of start accruing interest, which wouldn't be that big of a deal, but I would like to get that paid off as well, so I don't have that, kind of hanging over me. Then also, my boyfriend slash fiance is our whole relationship is really complicated, but he is just enlisted in the military, so he'll be out of training. I counted it out. They don't really say when he's going to be out, but I figure it's around October, so like sometime in October. So I will be going with the Army, going with him to wherever he is going to be stationed, and we have no idea at this point where he's going to be. He could be stationed here in Kentucky, he could, like at Fort Knox, he could be stationed at like California, Hawaii, Korea, who knows. So that's why I'm trying to like build up my own income. That way I don't have to rely on us having, like me having an actual day job or whatever when he is stationed somewhere, and I can just work for myself from wherever we are. So I know there are couples who do that where they, like, the spouse has to find a job there, and it's kind of difficult, and usually it's like only a retail job, so it doesn't pay that much. And I want like our schedules to align, because I don't know what kind of schedule he's going to have, don't know what area we're going to be in, if there's going to be like much stuff to do. So I will just hopefully that I can build up my YouTube channel also, because I do want to vlog from now until then, so talk about that a little bit later. And also I'm going to open a Shopify. So right now I'm only selling stuff on Etsy, and then of course at those craft shows. But Shopify is a little bit more user-friendly, I think, than Etsy. Well, Etsy's really user-friendly, but it's not like creator-friendly, if that makes sense. Like, they kind of take all of your money. So Shopify, you do pay monthly, but I think it's more worth it, because you pay monthly for unlimited listings, and you only pay a percentage when somebody buys it. But Etsy, you have to pay no matter if somebody's buying it or not, which stinks. But so like, for example, last week I got an order, earlier this week, last week sometime, I got an order for, it was like $67 or something, and they got free shipping, because Etsy also forces you to have free shipping. And by the time they took out the fees from like where my other listings had expired that week, I only got a cut of $35 out of that $67 sale. So yeah, it's time to move on from that. Like, that $20 that I had lost, or $23 that I lost, would pay for 1 month of Shopify. So yeah, it's time to move over. So how I'm going to do this, I am just going to budget out what I am going to get from my last official paychecks, and just put that into like my necessity categories, like groceries, gas. Like, my car registration's expiring in April, so I already have money budgeted for that, so I don't have to worry about it. And then I have some emergency savings, so that way in case I need something like new tire or whatever, which I just got 2 new tires, so hopefully if something goes wrong I should only need two of them, and which shouldn't be that much money. Which, actually, way off topic, but if you need new tires, do not go to tire discounters, because, especially if you're a woman, because they like to make you think that your car is falling apart and you need to pay them thousands of dollars to fix it, and it's bullcrap. So yeah, don't go to tire discounters. That's all I'm gonna say. Anyway, so I will have enough money from the last few paychecks to be able to subside for the next few weeks, or for next few months. And then also when my boyfriend slash fiance, whatever, is going to be in his AIT, so he goes through basic for a few months, and then he goes to his AIT, which is like the more training, more focus on his job. While he's there, I'll be able to visit him at least like, I think maybe 1 weekend a month, or that I've heard. I don't know, it's different everywhere you go, or everywhere you look for information, everybody says something different. So but he said he would pay for my visits, which would be amazing, because I don't have a guarantee that I'm going to have that much for like a plane ticket. So I mean, I'm also selling some personal stuff, so like where I used to crochet all the time. I have a ton of yarn. I've been selling that off, and I have just a bunch of other personal junk that I've collected over the past couple of years I've lived here that I just need to get rid of, because there's no way I'm going to be able to take everything that I have. The government does pay for your move, but it's just kind of annoying to pack up and move stuff that you don't actually need or want, so I'm going to be selling that stuff off. So what I'm going to be doing for the next little while, I'm going to be, number one, my focus right now is setting up my Shopify account and website, so that way when people go to CrocheterTitchery.com, they will go directly to my store, instead of like before where you had to, I had CrocheterTitchery.com on a WordPress, I think, and then you had to click through to the shop, but now CrocheterTitchery.com will take you directly to, if you go there now and it's not set up yet, it'll just bring you to like a page that says opening soon. So, and then it has a link to my Etsy that you can shop in the meantime, but I just think it's more professional that way if I have like my own website. And then I also, like, my stuff is ready to wholesale. I do have one wholesale client right now, which was amazing, that I actually met through the lady that I was talking about that I met at work. But another vendor at one of the show that I did, she got some at wholesale to sell in her soap, like handmade soap shop. So I thought that was pretty cool, and I would like to get ready to have more wholesale orders. You know, like there's a few boutiques around and that kind of stuff that I'd like to reach out to and see if they would be interested in having my stuff. And I want to have a section for that on my website. That way because right now I just have like on my Etsy description, I'm like, message me for wholesale, but I want to have like an actual page with information on it, like professionally on my, my Shopify with like my line sheet and all that stuff available. So I'll be working on that. I'll be building up inventory, sewing like crazy, and trying to get ready for those craft shows, because I have a set amount that I would like to be able to sell at that point. And then I also would like to sell a lot of my inventory off, that way I don't have to move so much of it. But also I'm thinking that I might need to build up my inventory before I go, because if you get stationed overseas, where I get my fabric from may or may not ship there. So I might have to bring a lot, or I'll be like shipping it to my parents' house and having them like forward it to me or something. I don't know. That would be kind of irritating. Or maybe if we go overseas, there'll be a place that like even better and cheaper. Like that would be amazing. But so I'll be working on orders that I get right now, and I'm also going to be vlogging the whole process. So this is the first video that you're going to see of my journey trying to make it as like a self-employed person. And I'm thinking I'm going to do like at least one vlog a week, and then like my normal sit down videos, kind of like this one where I talk about a certain topic. Then I'll vlog like what I'm doing. I'll show you like packaging orders, making stuff, then like maybe bring you with me to the craft shows, like do a little filming there. And yeah, I don't know what else. I only know what you'd like to see from those vlogs if you're interested about like small business kind of stuff. And I just want to be transparent about the whole process, because I know a lot of times if you're trying to start a business, it's hard to find information, or like how it actually goes in real life. Like you can find information about how to set up your tax ID, how to set up Shopify, how to like edit pictures, that kind of stuff, but like the day-to-day kind of stuff is hard to find. I've been really inspired by Olivia Haywood. I think she is on maternity leave right now. She is the owner of Maine Message, M-A-N-E Message, and they do like, she's famous for like this hair tie kind of things. She does like headbands and that kind of stuff, but she does vlogs kind of the day-to-day stuff, and I really enjoy that, and it's been kind of helpful to me because she shares her experience. She's been doing this for like 10 years, so that's really been beneficial. So I would like to also provide that for other people. And I know I'm not the best because I've only been doing it like, you know, semi-seriously for a little while. So some of my short-term goals for right now, like the next month or so he does ship out in a month, so I do have a little bit of time, well, like 3 weeks now that you're seeing this, I guess. But I wanted to get my office cleaned up, which is the room I'm filming in right now. This is why I'm filming against my closet door, because the rest of it's kind of a mess. I did have it cleaned, but now it's kind of getting cluttered again, so I need to get that done. And I have some like wasted space that I could definitely be using for storage, and to put like because I have my fabric on one shelf thing and then like my finished stuff on one shelf thing, but then everything else is kind of just scattered. So I would like to have a place for like stuff that I've cut but I haven't sewn yet and that kind of stuff. So I'll talk about that more, and like I guess I'll make like one big vlog or maybe two showing how I'm cleaning up this room. And then I of course want to get my Shopify up and running, and I do need to take new product photos for everything because I want them to all have like a clean white background, and before I just took them on my dark wood table, so they're not all consistent because of the lighting. If you do have a clean white background, it makes it a little bit nicer. Then of course I want to start vlogs, and the first couple are going to be kind of awkward because I usually do like this kind of sit down edited style of videos, and mostly not really scripted, but at least have some kind of notes about what I'm going to say. And vlogs are going to be a new challenge for me, but I think that will be kind of more real and I'll be able to talk about different stuff. And I also need to get consistent on social media because pretty much one of the only ways to grow in business now is through social media marketing. So which before I have done ads on like Instagram and Facebook and stuff, and while I do get a lot of like views on those, I don't get many click-throughs or even purchases. So I am going to not do like paid ads. It's just, I think it's more worth my time and the money to just kind of build up my following and of people who are already interested in my products and would follow me to see like new stuff or what I'm doing. So I do have an Instagram for my business. I do have a personal Instagram too. The personal Instagram is at Askland, the same way it's spelled here. And then Cruelty Free Stitchery is my business one. And I'm trying to use stories more at both places, so that way, like the new algorithm wants you to use stories, so I've heard. So I'm trying to do that a little bit more. And before I was kind of like, I have some of these like sporadic thoughts or things I want to share, but I don't really think it fits in my Instagram grid or whatever, and I just never thought about using stories, but now I'm like all about it. So yeah, hopefully I get more consistent on there. For January, I was on the ball, like I had everything pre-scheduled, but now that I'm doing so many different things, I just am doing it kind of like day by day, a couple days at a time. So, and my long-term goals are, I need to build a plan for my operations for the business, just in case he gets stationed overseas. I have to figure out how that's going to look, how much room that we're going to be able to have to move stuff. Because like we don't have any furniture, we both live with our parents, so we would have like his bed and maybe my desk. That's about it, but then everything else is going to be my fabrics. So but I also need to look into, because like with taxes and stuff, you have to have it, like in Kentucky, you have to have a tax ID and like pay, sales tax and all that kind of stuff, and I don't know how that's gonna work if I'm going overseas, if I could like park that here, like my parents' address or something. I don't know anything about that, so I'll have to really research that. And then I do want to get my YouTube monetized at least by the end of this year. That would help a lot. You'll help me to be able to make more videos and just make it more, what I'm trying to say, encourage me more to record videos and that kind of stuff, and I'm like getting paid for it, because this is a lot of work to record videos, especially vlogs where they're kind of sporadic and you can kind of have to cut out a lot of footage. It's just a lot of time. Then I would like to pay off the rest of my debt before we leave, which is going to be a challenge just because of my income. I'm not too sure how that's going to go. I'm hoping that I can make, if I can make as much as I project that I will at the craft shows, then it should be a problem. I don't know. And then I also want to have some in savings, of course, just in case like we need to. Like I've heard that when the military moves you pay for it up front and they reimburse you, so I don't know how that's going to work. And then I have a lot of personal craft projects, like clothes that I want to make, and I bought stuff to make us a quilt for our bed, so I just need to get a bunch of that stuff done and out of the way. That way I don't have to move all the supplies and everything. I can just kind of free up a couple of storage boxes that I have that kind of stuff saved up in, and then I'll have a little bit more time to work on that, like maybe one day a week or like one day every couple weeks or something, just work on stuff that I want to do, that I want to make for myself. And also I do have a plan, I'll post a video about that later on as well, but I do have a plan to kind of avoid that burnout, because before people are like, well, what do you do for fun in your free time? Like all my free time is literally spent on this business. So once that business is like all of my time, I'm afraid that I'm going to go overboard and get burnt out really fast. So I would like to, I have a bunch of rules that I've set for myself that, or guidelines at least, that I think will help me to not be burnt out very quickly and would help me just be more productive. So that is about it for this video. That was a lot of information. Let me know what you think in the comments if you have any questions, any suggestions for videos related to this kind of stuff. I'm still gonna do like sort of Make-A-Wish, but not really, like empties and that kind of stuff, hauls, which I cannot have any hauls between now and when we go, because I am not gonna have like stable income, so I cannot be buying anything that is not like an absolute necessity. So subscribe so you don't miss any future videos on this topic, and give this video a thumbs up if you thought it was interesting, and also give it a thumbs up if you're going to be following my journey on this. I would also like to have this as kind of a record for like years down the road when I want to look back on, you know, how I, like one day when I make it or whatever, you know, I'm going to see like how it went, because one of the videos that Olivia, like I was talking about earlier, she said how she wished she had pictures of like her first studio setup kind of thing. So I'm going to take videos and that kind of stuff, and also my family can follow along too, because I won't be home all the time. And yeah, that's about it. Let me know what you think, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.